All right. Wholesale away. Wholesale away. Wholesale away with me. I just locked up another contract and it was beautiful. All right. But it was not the easiest thing to get them to sign the contract. So I figure this is a good topic to make a video on. So basically, dope. But basically, this video is going to be, how to get people to sign that contract. All right. So you've already, you probably still need to negotiate the price, but you found the property, you're talking to the seller. How are we going to actually get them to go under contract? Because a lot of you guys are asking this question. You're getting to that point, and then you're trying to send them the contract, and they don't sign. Okay. So I've tried it both ways. I've tried it the passive way where I'm just like, what's your email? I send it to them, and then I just kind of let them do their thing. And then I've tried it the other way where I'm like on the phone with them, and I am not hanging up until you sign this contract. And the second option is better. The second option works. The second option is, what I have to do, especially, different markets are a little bit more. If I go more East Coast and kind of towards New York, like I send them a contract, boom, they sign it, they send it back. If I'm down like in Alabama or South Carolina, if I send them a contract, I won't hear from them for 3 days unless I'm constantly updating, constantly on them, constantly calling, figuring out what time on their calendar is going to work for me to conversate with them so that they can sign this contract. They're going to want to go talk to their old time city lawyer and show them the contract, and like, I don't have time for that shit. Sorry. I mean, sometimes it happens, but what I have to do with those people is if I have to get them on the phone and we got to fill out the contract together, I send it to them and I don't hang up until they sign. Okay. But let's just talk about the 3 methods of getting the negotiating of the best price, getting them to actually sign the contract, and basically getting that price down. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to build rapport. Okay, we're going to really be connecting with them. And when I say build rapport, we're just looking for one thing that we can relate to each other. Let's say they're a truck driver. I say, I wholesale property all the time to truck drivers. They drive by the property, they see the land, I put a sign in it, and they buy it all the time. I bet that's a pretty crazy job that you have there. And you harp on that. If they're in a place that you talk about the sports team. If they're in a place that you've never been, you relate to the weather or something. I don't know. You want to build rapport though, and you want to find something that you guys can talk about, and you want to just stick on that process because people are basic. Okay, and I usually build rapport with someone until they're teaching me something. This is kind of a sales tactic idea, but people like people that listen to them. So you're going to ask a lot of open questions. Obviously, you're going to be talking about their property. You're going to be asking, why, how'd you buy it? How long have you owned the property? Is anybody living in it? I guess the 3 main things that we're going to figure out for the contracts is the price, the occupancy, and when we can close. Okay, but first let's build rapport. Figure out their situation. Find out their motivation, their pain points. Don't bring up the price yet. Okay, a lot of people will get on the call with someone and say $150,000 final offer, take it or leave it. That doesn't work. That's not what we're here to do. And then another thing that you have to keep in mind, okay, why this is all worth it, is $2,000-$3,000 can really mean a lot to your wholesaling check and to your buyers and everything else. So everything that we can do to get this price as low as possible is really, really key, okay? So first thing, build rapport. Next thing, I want you to slow it down. Slow it down. Unless they're ready to go super fast, like chill out, okay? You got to prime them for the negotiating. You want to make them laugh. You just kind of want to have a conversation, human-to-human interaction. And you want to be solving a problem. So a lot of these distressed properties, what I use on the phone when I'm talking to them, I say, yeah, this property really sounds like, it's a financial cancer. And I'm going to help you basically cut that out and really make it happen so that we can work together to get you where you want to go. I'm sure this burden has been really hard on you and is kind of being difficult. And we're going to find something better, and we're going to get you where you want to go, and let's figure out this stuff. So I like to, unless they have cancer, don't say that shit. But I like to say we're gonna help cut this financial cancer out of your life, get you some money in your pocket, hopefully, and get you on to where you want to go. So you really want to figure out two things. Okay, you want to figure out what's their goal with the property. What's the real underlying goal? What's their emotion? What's the trigger? What's the reason that they're so sick of this house? Is it just financial burden? Did somebody pass away and they're over it? Has it been pain in the ass? Has it just been a gross house for a while? Is it just time to move down to Florida so that you can retire and be with the rest of your family? Figure that stuff out, okay? But slow down and prime them. Priming them is just getting them to the point where they like you. Just try and be a personable person, crack some jokes, relate to them on nonsense, ask them questions that's going to get them motivated, all right? And then, because we're basically on a date with these people. A lot of the times, this is maybe the first time we've ever talked to them, and we're talking about buying a house. All right, when you go on a date with somebody, you don't just go straight down to business. You got to dance. You got to, get them to like you. Have a conversation, all right? And then we're going to start playing the what if game, okay? This is what I call the what if game, okay? And this is where we're talking to the seller, and let's say we want to buy the house for $150,000. Okay, we're going to come in and we're just going to play the what if. We're going to say, well, I'm really interested in your property. What if I was able to buy it right now for around $110,000, $120,000? And you say, what if though? You say, what if I could buy it around 120? Well, can we work on that? And then they're probably going to counter offer and be like, no, I don't think I could do it for that low. And I say, okay, well, what if, what's a number that you would be able to do it for? And then they're going to say a number. Right? They're going to say, oh, I'm going to do, 200,000. And you're going to say, between like 120 and 200,000. And then they're going to say, I can maybe meet you in the middle. And they're going to say, like 160. And we're going to say, so like 120 to 160. What if I could buy it right now for like 130? And they're going to say, I don't think I can go that low. And you're going to say, well, what do you think you could do? What could we make something work? And they're going to say, 140. And then we're going to say, okay, let's do that. And then now you get the price. But if you can't get the price nailed down, you still have two other things that you need to nail down. So let's say they're being real dickheadishness, I don't know if that's a word at all, on price. And every time you bring up price, they get real defensive. Okay, then you're going to go, okay, well, let's talk about the occupancy. Is anybody living in it? Is there a tenant? Do you live in it? Is it been vacant? And they're going to say, oh, no, my grandma lives in it or something, and she's going to move out, though. She wants to go to live in a mobile home, so that's why we were going to sell this house. We're going to say, okay, well, how soon do you think we can close? And then they're going to say 30 days. And we're going to say, okay, cool. Or like, let's say it's vacant, and let's say, well, what if we could buy it and close in 7 days? And they're going to say, oh, yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to be rid of this house. Okay, well, if we can buy it in 7 days, if nobody's living in it, or if we'll help your grandma move all of her stuff out, what if we can negotiate the price to around 140,000? And then they're going to say, okay, yeah. And then you're going to basically, that's called the range technique. All right, that's how you give them a range, not just one price. And if they say, and saying what if is more to get a reaction. If you say, what if I could do 120? And they go, oh God, no. Then you're going to want to raise your price a little bit. All right, but now let's more talk about getting them to sign the contract, okay? But once you've figured out those three things, you've built rapport, you've slowed it down for them, and a lot of the times when I'm slowing it down for people, I'll give them a bunch of offers. I'll get them to the point where they're like, no, I just want to sell it. I just want to get rid of it, because I'll say, okay, well, what if we did like a creative financing operation where you basically would be the bank and finances, and I would basically take over the payments on the property? That's something I can say. Or what if we listed it with a real estate agent? You probably have to pay a bunch of fees and it wouldn't close for like 60 days. And they're going to say, yeah, we thought about doing that, but I really just want to sell. And then you're going to basically get them to the point where and a lot of people are scared to give them other options, but you're having a conversation. You're just trying to solve problems. And these people are distressed. They have real reasons why they need to sell their houses. But now let's just cut down to the chase. Time to sign the contract. Okay. So when you're on the phone with them, you're basically just going to say, okay, well, that sounds good. Let's get it done. If you're meeting him in person, you say, oh, I've got some paperwork in my car. I'm going to go get it and we'll fill it out. And then if not, you're going to say, okay, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, let's get this written up so that I can get my money together. Basically, we're just going to be sending you over a pretty basic purchase agreement, typical for all these deals. And I'm going to type it up right now and I'm going to send it to you. Okay, so the party and the name on the title is going to be your name. Type it in. And the property address, this is the exact property address, correct? And you're going to say the address, or you're going to have them say the address. And we've officially agreed that the purchase price is going to be $150,000. Is that correct? And they're going to say, is that correct? Yes. And then you're going to say, okay, when I fill out the contracts, I don't say shit about giving them a down deposit unless they bring it up. So I don't say shit about the EMD or the escrow, or I tell them the title company. All right. And I say, well, I really like to use, Rudy Title in this area. Is that going to be fine with you? And you'll be able to go and close, and you want to find a title company near them. And they're going to say, oh yeah, that's fine. And then this is going to be a cash purchase. That's another thing. You want to always lay it thick that you're going to make it as simple as possible for them. Okay. So this is going to be a cash purchase. We're going to buy it as is. We agreed that the closing date is going to be in 7 days. And they're going to say, yeah, that sounds really good. And into that 7 days, no one's going to be living in the house after that. And as soon as we get down to close, and they're going to say, yeah, we already talked about that. That sounds really good. And if the condition of the property is as is, okay, but you said it was in fair condition. So I'm going to have to go and send somebody out there within the next couple of days to go take a look. If it's not what you said it is, we might have to renegotiate. And they're going to say, okay, yeah, well, also the floor is this, the floor is that, whatever. But you should have already talked about the price. And you're basically going to say, this is going to go into effect, tomorrow. So I really need you to sign this. This is going to be like a 24-hour contract. As soon as you sign it, my title company is going to call you and we're going to get ready for closing. And then at closing, the cash is going to be put into an escrow. And then as soon as everything is all buttoned up, we're going to make sure that cash goes directly into your bank account and is wired to you, or you'll be able to pick up a check. Does that all sound good? And they're going to say, yeah, that sounds great. All right, I'm going to send you this contract right now. I want you to look at it over and check out your email. And then they're going to check out their email, and then we're going to go back to the contract. I'm going to say, I'd really like you to go on your computer right now and pull it up on your phone, because we're going to fill this out in a hello sign, and it's super easy for them to sign it. And then they're going to say, okay, yeah, I'm looking at it now. I'm going to say, okay, perfect. At the top, it has your name. I spelled your name correctly. Is that right? And they're going to say yes. And then I spelled the property correct, right? And then I've spelled the numbers correct, right? And when you see the title company, basically all the rest of this is just going over closing, going over the occupancy, the condition of the property as is condition. This is a cash purchase. All right, non-agency relationship. We're not dealing with any real estate agents. Okay, the time of acceptance is 24 hours. Okay, so you understand all that. And then we're going to make sure that once you sign this, we're going to close. We're going to get it inspected. And then we're going to send somebody over to the property. And as long as everything checks out, we are going to purchase this property in 7 days, and everyone's going to be happy. Now I just need you to sign. And you shut up. And they're going to have questions, whatever. But at this point, you've talked to them for an hour. They're tired. They're beat up. Okay. And you're going to say, yeah, if you just, as soon as you get that contract signed, we're going to be able to go. And then you're going to start if they use objections, you're going to start, basically asking them why they feel that way. Ask them, okay, when they tell you, I think I'm going to think it over for the night. And you're going to say, okay, usually when people say that, they're either afraid or I didn't explain how this process works clearly. Why do you think you need tonight to think it over? Or first, what you do is you agree with them. Whatever their thing is, like, I need to talk to my spouse. You're going to say, I agree. Whenever I make big decisions like this, I always talk to my spouse. When you talk to them, what do you think is going to change? Or do you think anything is going to happen? And they're going to say, oh, no, they usually go with whatever I say, and it's my property anyways. And then you're going to say, yeah, I agree. It is your property. So I think we could probably take care of this right now. And this is how you can get a little salesy, but this is clutch, because until this contract is signed, you ain't got shit. There's nothing that matters other than getting the contract signed ASAP. And then if they say, oh, no, I really don't want to do this right now, I'm going to have to do it tomorrow. You're going to look at your calendar and you're going to say, okay, Well, I want you to look it over tonight, and tomorrow at 3:30 or 5:30, I will be available for us to have a great conversation and get this signed and get this moving. Does that sound all right? And then they're going to say, yeah, that sounds good. Okay, and then as soon as you get off the phone, or before you get off the phone, you say, as soon as you sign, we'll have our title company call yours, and we'll get in within 24 hours, and we'll get the ball rolling to closing this property and getting it off your stress. Feel free to sleep great tonight and be ready to cash that check coming soon, and things like that. Like, just encourage them, keep it tight, and then this way you've kept everything organized, you've kept it all online, you've got them on conversation. Now let's talk about some other situations where they're not at their computer or something. As soon as you have agreed on the price, the closing date, and the occupancy, but they're not at their computer or they're old and they don't know what to do, you're going to basically say, okay, when are you available so that we can sit down and sign this contract? And you're going to have the contract written up, and you're going to either send it to them or you're going to send it to them again as soon as you get on the phone with them. And you're going to say, okay, well, I'm going to be available, and give them a specific time so that they're there, okay? So that they understand like how this is going to go down. Okay, well, tomorrow at 2:30, me and you are going to hop on a phone, and you're going to be at your computer so that you can look at the contract and we can sign it together, and we can get this done. We can get this ball moving, and we can get whatever their pain problem is. We can cut out this financial cancer that's been in your life. We can get this some money in your pocket, and we can get rid of this property out of your name, and we can move forward. And they're going to say, okay, let's do that. So you get them to sign, and then you're going to basically keep going. So I think that was helpful. This is what I do. Build rapport, slow it down, give them some other multiple options until the point where they're just saying, no, I just want to sell it. I just want to get rid of it. And just make sure that you're going to be like focused on solving their problems. Okay, so the main thing about when you're slowing it down and you're priming them, you're figuring out their motivation, you're figuring out why they want to sell it. And then as it comes to the end, you're going to start giving them the price range, and you're going to be using the what if technique, and you're going to be saying, well, what if I could do it for 120 to 130,000? And then you just shut up, and then you're just going to dance, and you're going to be focusing on helping them, and then you're going to really be focusing on that you need them to sign that contract. It's life or death. If they don't sign it, we're not going to be able to get our money together. So this is your opportunity to be able to do business with us. We need it signed in 24 hours, or we're going to have to come down on price. And then if they don't agree within 24 hours, you're going to say, okay, well, then now we have to do it at 110,000. And then they might wander off and then not sell it, and then you can hit them up again and be like, hey, like we're at 100,000 now if you want to join, if you want to sell. There's lots of weird things like that. I hope that was helpful to helping you get the contract signed, but it is very key that you focus on getting that contract signed and learning how to do it well and having a good presentation. Your presentation mostly goes about, hey, we buy houses as is, any condition, we pay cash, and we close fast. We want to make it as easy and smooth of a process for you. This contract is a real basic purchase agreement that you need to sign so that we can get our money together and get the ball rolling. Once you sign it, this contract will be sent to a title company. The title company will be in charge of the funds and making sure that your title is free and clear. And if you've told me the right price and you've paid up on taxes, everything should be great, though. Everything should go smoothly. This is a real basic contract that you're signing. Or don't ever use the word contract. Sorry, this is a real basic purchase agreement. This is a real basic agreement, and I just need you to put your name on there. Don't use the word contract. Don't use the word signature. Both those things scare people. Use the word agreement, and there's another word. What I always just say, like finger signature or agreement, and your approval. Agreement and approval. So don't use the word contract. Don't use the word signature. Those throw people off. Make it real simple and real blunt. All right, I hope that was helpful. Get these contracts signed. Stay focused. Stay on the phone with them until they sign. As soon as these are signed, that's potentially $10,000, $20,000, $40,000 or more. There's crazy amounts of money. So this is very key part of your business. Do a dance. Take the time to do it correctly. All right, use the what if modes. Don't think that you need to know every single thing about the house. That's the other thing, is if what they say in the phone call isn't the same as it is when you go and see the property, that's another reason to come down on price and renegotiate, okay? So you don't need to know everything about the property. You want to hear from them, is it good, scary, or perfect? You know what I mean? Or is it good, scary, livable, perfect? You know, and like whatever they tell you, you're gonna take that for the truth. And then when you send somebody to go and get it inspected, or when the buyer goes and gets it inspected, if it's not what they said it was, then you're gonna have a conversation about that property, and you're gonna say, well, you said it was in good condition, but I didn't know I had to buy a whole new AC unit and the roof was cracking in the foundation, so I'm gonna have to come down like $100,000 on this property, and you're gonna just go from there. Okay, so don't feel like you have to be a contractor. Don't think you need to know every number before you go into these conversations or while you're on the call with them. It's really good to look at Zillow, multiply it by 0.60, get that 60% ARV, and really shoot for 50%. See what you can do. Use the what if technique on what if I could do 50 to 70%. Where would you meet? You know, and then you say, okay, can you meet me in the middle? You know, make these broad accusations. Find out how much they owe on their mortgage if they have a mortgage. Find out how soon they want to close, and find out if anybody's living in it. Those are the real things that you need to know. You don't need to know too much else. I hope that was helpful. Get those contracts signed. Peace.